You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
Stugotz has some of this a little bit backward. He has already done God Bless Football, and now he is doing his football research. And so he just said to me...
Never stops,
He
Dan.
just said to me during the break, hey, Dan, the Ravens, the only other teams that have led for as much of the season as the Ravens have, because they've been way ahead in all of these games. The Browns, I think, that's one of the rarest times of a team winning a game where they trailed that thoroughly throughout. And Stugotz just discovered that the other teams that have led as long as the Ravens have this season throughout history, all 10-0.
Yes.
All of them, they led because they started the season as one of the great teams of all time.
Including the 84 Dolphins. 10-0. Yeah.
Yes, and that is what is happening to the Ravens, and it is weird. We're going to get to a variety of football things in a second, but I see the back road there is eating delightfully ethnic breakfast. Stugotz had a incredibly sad piece of bacon for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Billy is, he's got, do you have pan con...
It's a tostada.
Okay, tostada, but
Yeah.
not with café con leche. You don't dip it in like coffee? You just eat it dry?
I was on the run right now. I could, but I didn't have time. Yeah.
Okay, Chris, what are you eating there?
An empanada?
The gas station empanada in South Florida, Stugotz, and I think in the South in general, I think I can say this, the gas station food in the South is better than the North. Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Is gas station food in the South better than in the North?
Why do you say that?
I've just seen full barbecues and fried chicken and an assortment of ethnic foods and just an assortment of proud regional identity that you'll find in gas stations. But one of the things that I've got to think, I have to think that this isn't everywhere in the South, that this is not even everywhere in Florida. The sheer amount of mariquitas, of banana chips that we sell in our gas stations down here in Dade County, I find it perpetually hard to resist, because if you're offering me salty, crunchy at every turn, and it's just pounds and bags that are just heavy, they're not cheating you like Mickey Arison does on the media chips at the Heat games. These are big bags of chips that will fill you up. Put it on the poll, Juju. Do you have trouble resisting the gas station mariquita?
The ones we had up on the screen, the Mariquitas Classic with the yellow bag, are incredible. And those, like you said, Dan, a lot of chips these days, Big Chip got smart, Dan. What they said is, you know what? People will buy anything, one. Two, if we sell them more air than chip, they'll buy it. Yeah. And that's what they've done to us. Mm-hmm. The biggest, crime perpetrated on the American people has been chips. We're buying air, people. Stop buying chips. One. Two, buy Mariquitas, because what they're going to give you is 75% chip, 25%
It's a lot
air.
of chip. Do any of you have trouble resisting the gas station mariquita, or is this the sole lament of the fat man here?
I get that every single time I walk in. Every single time I walk in, I get mariquitas because they are irresistible. And
flavor? Do you go
the
like
lime
garlic
flavor's crazy.
or chili?
the lime flavor. It's either plain or lime.
I don't think I've walked into a gas station since the Obama administration.
You don't ever pick up water? You don't want sparkling? No,
You've
it's
never
just
gotten
paying
beer?
by
You've
card.
never gotten
Lotto
anything?
Paying by card.
Cigarettes?
I just fill up and go. Yeah. I'm sorry, but also I'm here to defend the Northeast. You've never gotten a hoagie from Wawa?
Don't say Wawa's
The
a
only
gas
time
They
station.
got hoagie. They got that in
They have
Doral, dude.
Wawa here.
Yeah,
But don't say it's a gas station. They're very...
Not a
very
gas
joking.
station.
Great milkshake at the gas station.
You don't get
Sorry
to-
to Wawa, you're a gas station.
You don't get to claim
okay?
Wawa because there's one in Doral. And
There's
originated
one on
in-
127, too.
Yeah, you don't get to claim it.
Of course I do. What are you talking? It's in Miami, dude. I can claim whatever I want.
No, because it was invented in
I don't
Philadelphia.
care where it was invented. There's so many in Miami that we can claim it.
It's in Broward, too. You don't want to be on the wrong side of history in the South.
Mike only goes into the gas station when he gets that godforsaken see the cashier.
I hate that when I'm trying to pay for gas outside and
you
it's
know
like,
what I do?
see the cashier.
You know what I do?
See you later.
Yeah, I'll take my chances.
Next station.
There's got to be another one down this road.
No, but how about you get your chips in order? Seriously. Like, I
Yeah.
want to do the chip. I want to do it outside. It never works. Then I try to stick it in, and it says malfunction, come inside. I want to go inside.
I don't want to have to look
Right.
what number pump I'm at.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right,
no,
yeah.
what is that?
I'd
I
rather-
see 6, so that must mean
Pump
I'm 7 on the other side.
Yeah.
I would rather push my car up the Florida Turnpike than come in and see you.
I don't understand why you're being such a gas station snob. We have a lot of culture in our gas stations, depending on where it is that you go. You can feel a neighborhood's culinary soul down here in South Florida, where there are many where you will not get somebody speaking English, and what they are serving you is incredibly ethnic food. And it's not like these sad Dairy Queen hot dogs. It's people who are taking pride in their gas station cuisine.
I don't like when there's line chaos in a gas station. Like, I don't like when the line goes like up one of the rows and then someone walks in and they don't see that there's a line established down this row. So they're standing to the side a little bit. It's just chaos. I don't like being in it, and it makes me a little scared.
The Pana Express in West Venezuela is maybe the most culturally ethnic place I've ever been in my life.
Is the empanada almost always great except for the occasional dry ones? Like, empanadas feel to me like they're in the what is closest to the realm of pizza, where there's not really such a thing as bad, unpleasant pizza. There are less good.
There's bad pizza.
No, I mean, you can
Even when it's bad, it's good.
Whatever, you can say that,
It's edible,
Stugotz, but
yes.
largely,
Right.
even though you don't want to eat in a hospital pizza, there are places where there are bad pizza. Largely, if I tell somebody, here's some pizza, if you're not a discerning pizza snob, most of it is fine.
It's hard to screw up melting cheese on bread. I'm with you.
That is correct.
Yes.
So, but I'm asking you, if the empanada, have you guys had many bad empanadas? Is that like, if they're properly moistened, they're always wonderful.
I think it's the filling too. You got to get the right filling, because sometimes if you get a spinach one, spinach one could be a little dry depending on when it was made and how it was shipped to you and where you bought it.
Well, I'm
and if it's
sorry.
been sitting under
You know what?
the lights, you know what I mean?
I mean, you got to have meat in there. Get your spinach shit the bleep out
Terrible.
of here. Get it out of here.
Exactly.
No, thank you. I've already.
But when you bite into one expecting meat and you get the spinach,
it's got to be. It's got to be meat, just because it's what you signed up for. It's the hidden treasure. It cannot be spinach. The hidden treasure cannot be spinach.
The beautiful thing about the Hispanic people is that we let people know about things, right? The mariquitas, 75%, 25%. Every time you look at an empanada, there's going to be somewhere in the dough on the top ridges, it'll tell you what it is. There'll be CH chicken. There'll be P for also chicken, for pollo, but you'll have meat, carne, CM,
A lot
things
of
like
learning
that.
on the show. Someone who hasn't learned since burning his mouth on the original microwave in Greg Cody's home on a Hot Pocket, Chris Cody was the amateur who pulled the empanada out of the microwave, took a big bite out of it, and then started fanning at his face as if he was being attacked.
But I'm a pro,
by,
though. I
by hornets.
I didn't let the food go to the top of my mouth, so I just kind of keep the food in the
Yeah, it was
so it's
disgusting.
never burning really
No, it
anything.
was
I didn't burn the
but-
top of my mouth. You do the.
It was disgusting. What you were doing is breathing throughout the room.
chimney.
I was wondering why when I walked away, you're like, I'm going to start with that. I was like, what? Me enjoying my breakfast?
No, you were blowing empanada fumes in everyone's face because you were holding the chewed up remnants of it on your tongue, waiting for it to cool off.
I get a little flavor now with my blow. Usually you blow on it before you bite it. I'm enjoying flavor while blowing.
It was an unpleasant thing that you did throughout our newsroom, is you're blowing empanada breath at everybody aggressively because you don't know how to eat an empanada from the microwave.
Where Chris got it wrong is that you can't blow out, right? And that's why I call it the chimney, because when you do it, you got to blow up, right? So when you blow up, you go,
Yeah.
people don't see it. Because if I do it face to face with you, Dan, then you're getting it right in your face, you know?
If you blow up, though, what you get, you risk burning the back of your mouth.
That's right.
He
It's
was
a
being
balance.
totally
it's like 45
selfish.
degrees is like the perfect.
I want to get back to Stugotz, the details on this Jimbo Fisher buyout,
Yeah.
because I will remind you that very recently college sports were behaving as if they weren't a giant business that could have so much money everywhere that they could buy out a thoroughly mediocre SEC coach, like wildly mediocre, for $76 million. That's not just $76 million, Stugotz, because that detail enough. Jimbo Fisher getting $76 million is amazing enough by itself. But how he's getting it, Stugotz, doesn't have precedent in the history of American sports, okay? It really doesn't, and certainly not college sports. Within 60 days, Texas A&M has to give him $19.4 million in the next 60 days.
Right.
In the next 120 days, they got to give him another $7.2 million. The entirety of his contract is such, Stugotz, that even if he gets another job, there's no offset clause. Jimbo Fisher got such a leveraged deal because he was so coveted because he had Jameis Winston, the only quarterback he's ever had. He made Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston made him. And since then, he hasn't had a developed quarterback. Always has great recruiting classes, always 500, hasn't won any big games, any road games, any close games. All he does is lose in a way that embarrasses Texas A&M, which has so much money that they can afford to run him off. And the money's all guaranteed, Stugotz, and it's not offset, according to Darren Ravel, if he gets another job. So he runs the possibility of getting a pay raise for all of this because he will have another.
If he wants to work.
Well, if he wants to work at all, he will have another job that also pays him a great deal of money.
It's an amazing gig. Would you want to work? Like if you were guaranteed $76 million over the next, I don't know, 6 years or so, would you want to work at all? And that's going to be interesting to see what he does. He doesn't have to.
But it depends on whether you love your job or not, right? Because otherwise I would have retired already. I would have retired already as a single man all my life if I didn't love my job. Jimbo Fisher is someone.
It's a hell of a flex.
No, I'm just.
I get the point, but
boy, Dano.
Good for you.
It's a hell of a flex, though. It was.
Good, no, I don't.
The game.
No, but it's not that. It's just enough to live comfortably. It's enough to live. I'm not going to be living like Jimbo Fisher. This is.
Well, he has no kids, so he doesn't have to worry about the next generation of Lebatards, is what he's saying. That's a big deal.
I've just been single all my life, is what I'm saying, and
that'll do it
until the last 5 years, and I haven't had to spend a lot of money on things, and because of that. If I didn't love what it is we were doing for work, I would have stopped working already and gone to be with my wife and just travel and stuff. I don't know what the answer to this is, but Jimbo Fisher can get work again. I just can't believe that as a pedestrian a coach as Jimbo Fisher is, that this is the cost. Like this. I mean, how do you
how do you have
the money? This is a middling SEC school.
Crude oil futures.
Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. I love them. I have had their system in my house for many, many years now. It is fantastic, especially the Video Doorbell Pro. Amazing. Listen, there's never a wrong time to protect your home, but this fall happens to be an especially good time because you get up to 50% off a brand new Simply Safe home security system. Simply Safe is comprehensive protection for the whole home with advanced sensors that detect break-ins, fires, floods, and more, plus HD cameras for both inside and out. So if you're traveling around this holiday season, have some peace of mind with the best security system out there. It is Simply Safe. It's powered by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day, half the cost of traditional home security, with a new 24/7 live guard protection and the Smart Alarm wireless indoor camera. Satisfaction is backed by Simply Safe's money-back guarantee. Try Simply Safe for 60 days, risk-free. If you don't love it, return your system for a full refund. You have nothing to lose. For a limited time, save up to 50% on any new system with a Fast Protect plan. Visit simplysafe.com/DLB. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Dan Batard.
He said while you were off there, while the connection was bad, he had mentioned that you have lost a lot of weight and that he admires that. What got into you? Why did you decide? I thought it was all, I thought we enjoyed being about the munching.
Yeah.
Oh, it's slurring again. Okay, the connection is bad again, unfortunately.
Back to Magnus.
Okay, back to Mr. Magnuson. This is going about as well as it could go. Thank you, Billy, again for laughing in my face.
Stugotz.
I mean, I am which is the worst. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, sir, action.
Hello?
Action.
Man, I'm really sorry. This is literally the worst way to ever do this. This is burning my heart that this is happening, but if you could hear me, just understand, I'm sorry.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I don't mean to keep you daily updated or weekly updated on this, but Paramount Plus continues to tempt me, trying to get my $11.99 a month. Most recently, not just with The Curse, which I have not checked out yet.
Good Burger 2?
A Milli Vanilli documentary. there was a very popular music act that toured the country that was doing music, and they were lip syncing the entire time.
Let me save you 3 hours. They faked it. The end.
I know, but that's what you've been doing for 20 years, and it's not yet the end.
Cliff Notes.
You are still here faking it and alive and vibrant.
Barely.
Well, yes, that's true.
Right.
Yesterday, one of the things that I thought was interesting, Stugotz, about the football, because by itself, that was a bad slate. But this is the magic. When 5 of them are decided by field goals and 2 of them are decided by interceptions, because everybody is so closely matched, and everyone is that Seattle-Washington game, when so much of the sport is that, the magic of the sport is somehow, Stugotz, 5 games coming down to the last kick, 2 of them coming down to a game-winning interception. It doesn't matter who the teams are. It doesn't matter the uniforms, the laundry. It's just drama, 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 tension, tension, tension. And also, hey, look, CJ Stroud is a total star, and Houston has something that every team in the league envies, because not every team in the league, every fan base in sports envies what Houston has at quarterback, because you're like, oh, shit, they're going to be great forever as long as he doesn't get hurt. This isn't Kyler Murray. This isn't a temporary thing. That guy, no matter who I put him with, is going to be poised as a quarterback for a decade, making longer throws down the field. He is throwing the ball. He is slinging it in a league that has gotten awfully sphincter congested, throwing the ball with checkdowns. Everybody's got Kenny Pickett. Nobody's got C.J. Stroud.
The NFL is amazing, where you care about Arizona and you care about the Atlanta Falcons. And you have no reason to care about those 2 teams, but the game was so great. Kyler Murray's back. There are storylines, so you care about it. The Texans have that thing, Dan. They have, I call it the thing that every NFL team wants. They have the rookie quarterback on a rookie contract who's as good as any quarterback in the NFL, and now they can build around that thing. They have it. They have the guy. And if you're Carolina, what you must be thinking for taking the wrong guy, that has to sting. It just has to hurt.
Especially with no first-round draft pick.
I know.
That going to Chicago. I'd like to gauge the room, because something was happening in my group chats yesterday that a lot of people were complaining about this NFL season. I guess because scoring is down, people are complaining that with bad football. And I happen to think the NFL is awesome this year. This is a complimentary football that I grew up watching. I think this is probably, in my lifetime, the best pass rushing generation I've ever seen.
It has to be.
I've never seen so many. You got Max Crosby playing last night. Myles Garrett.
Every team has one, it feels like.
I could watch Myles
Niners
Garrett
have 2 now.
try to chase down Lamar Jackson for the entirety of my life. Micah Parsons. There's 2 Bosas killing it. It's an unbelievable time to have this many great pass rushers. I'd also say that the cornerback play, which was really struggling over the last few years to find its footing against all the new rules, is finally coming online, and we're seeing really great secondary play. You actually legitimately believe that these tough, hard-nosed, defensive-minded teams in the AFC North might actually have a shot when they draw the likes of Kansas City, perhaps in the first round. I love the NFL right now. I look at that AFC playoff picture, and I can't wait for these potential games. But because scoring is down, you have people doing there's too many Kenny Pickett's, there's too many checkdowns, and I love it. It actually feels like the parity we keep alleging is in this sport.
One of the things, though, that happens yesterday is Chargers-Lions. One of the things that happens is Texans-Bengals, where you're watching up and down the field in a way that doesn't feel as constipated as the Steelers-Packers game none of us want to watch. We don't want to watch that Carolina Bears game. There are a lot of games.
Good games.
The Titans-Tampa Bay game, nobody wants to watch.
No, I mean, no one wants to see a blowout, but count me in the I know that this is a losing hand. Everyone likes. I'm not here to say that Chargers-Lions is a bad game. I'd be foolish to say. I enjoyed that game greatly. I enjoy these shootouts too. But to say things that a defensive-minded struggle isn't a good game when it's competitive, I'm not in that class. I like seeing good defense. I like trying to figure out how Mike Tomlin's going to win and have a 6-3 record despite being outgained for the 9th consecutive game. I love this about the sport right now.
You cannot say that you love watching Kenny Pickett. You can't say it.
I think he's coming online. I think he's making plays with his feet.
He is making plays, though.
That's complimentary football.
Right.
Babe, that's what this is.
Oh, no. Put it on the
He's
poll,
right, babe.
Juju.
Yeah.
Babe, that's what this is.
That's complimentary football, babe.
Yes
Kenny
or no?
Pickett to Jalen Warren for 3 yards every
Guys,
play.
not everyone has a Tua to Tariq Hill. Not everyone has C.J. Stroud. Not everyone has Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase.
So you have to do what you have to do to try to win the game.
Yep.
And I understand what Carolina is doing. Like, let's go all on Bryce Young because I guess he's going to be the greatest quarterback, and people will get lucky, and someone will pass on C.J. Stroud. Someone will be there to collect him, and you hope you have a quarterback that'll keep you relevant for 20 years. That's the end game. I understand that changes the math. But when you are stuck with a Kenny Pickett, how do you win when you're up against these great quarterbacks? You win by playing the type of football that they're playing right now, and I think that's admirable.
Which is boring football.
That's the argument you make when you don't have C.J. Stroud.
Kenny Pickett had a QBR of 24 yesterday.
And a win.
And 6-3. That is correct. Same record as
But the
a better record than C.J. Stroud.
Okay, I get it, but I like seeing these teams that are overmatched actually have chances now because the defense has gotten that much better.
The games being close like that, the aberration being the Titans-Tampa Bay game and the Cowboys-Giants game. You've come to expect that in the witching hour, you're going to get something. The witching hour, but at 3:45, something's going to be decided late that will grab your attention just because it's football late. It doesn't. It's the magic of it.
Seahawks, Commanders. If you're offensive minded, you're probably saying this is a crap game, but it's close.
The Browns Ravens got you yesterday.
That was a
in
great
the witching
game,
hour,
but defenses
saying.
were
Right.
making tremendous plays. Quarterbacks were making plays with their feet in pots. I don't know how anyone does anything against the Ravens. Have you watched them play defense?
They wreck the.
Have you watched what they do? Have you watched what they do? You got middle linebackers running up to the line and then doing a dead sprint out of your picture. You're like, what the hell is this quarterback supposed to do? What are they doing on defense?
I really the part I enjoy about the Ravens. It's not my favorite part, but it's up there. Clowning, no training camp. Just show up 17 Sundays and be a basketball player, be a power forward that no one can block, and get to the backfield in 2 seconds because all of these teams have these pass rushers.
Clowney's an also-ran in this generation.
He had 2 sacks yesterday.
There's 2 Bosas, and we only talk about one of them, really. Like, Khalil Mack had like 17 sacks in a game.
JJ's not the best watch.
Yeah. It's an insane time. And these incredible athletes. I mean, guys, that is, if you like sports for the athleticism, watching what Max Crosby and Zach Wilson did at the end of that game, that is compelling, and that is height of athleticism of the sport. And that's Zach Wilson, a punchline. He can hit him with a stutter step to evade and throw a ball 50 yards downfield. And by God bless Ty Conklin, incredible pass defense.
Max Crosby is a specimen. Have you seen Max? There's a video circulating of Max Crosby playing pickup basketball at like a double-rim park somewhere in like I don't know where, and he's throwing down like windmill slams. He's playing like LeBron, and I'm like, where did this guy come from?
We've mentioned it before.
Athlete.
He's got 2 X's in his name.
Yeah,
should be 3.
It's terrifying.
Put it on the poll, please. Should Max Crosby have 3 X's in his first name?
Different career path.
Zach Wilson, the Zach Wilson throw that you mentioned, the Hail Mary, Stugotz, it reminded me of something that happened yesterday, and I wonder how you would feel if you have a bet on this game. Roy was lamenting. He was spitting at his microphone before we turned it on. He was so mad at the New York Rangers because he had a 4-leg parlay, and he just needed the Rangers to beat the worst team in the league by more than a goal, and they did not.
Right.
But imagine you've got money on this game.
Should have hedged it.
Jameis Winston drops back to pass, and he's throwing a Hail Mary. And in Texas, as he's doing this, they go to commercial right in the middle of it, and it's a commercial for Undisputed. And when they come back from the commercial in parts of Texas, it's not Jameis Winston or whatever happened on the play, it's Cowboys-Giants. And so you're watching that game, whatever happened at the end of that game, and you're somebody who doesn't have one of these channels that gives you everything. This should be a bigger story. There are fans in Houston that are really mad about what happened because you cannot have the computer buffering. Then you cannot go to an Undisputed commercial of all things, and then return to action, and it's a different game.
And the worst game of the weekend.
You can't watch the whole game, and then if you're watching that whole game, okay, one team's got its third string quarterback, and at some point in that game, Stugotz, Derek Carr leaves, and they're like, shoulder or concussion? I don't know.
It's Jameis time.
It's something. It's Jameis time, baby.
With Jameis, though, if that happens, like, you can guess how it ends, right? Like, he had his 2 touchdowns, so you know what we're due for there.
Jameis was happy. Yeah.
Anytime Jameis comes in, you can pencil him for 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. Doesn't matter what half, doesn't matter what quarter. He's going to throw inexplicable balls to somebody.
He makes me smile. That's all I can
really
say.
does.
I see him on the field, and I'm happier.
Yeah.
There was a play where he ran out to the other hash, right? Saw a guy 40 yards down the field,
I saw that.
diagonally.
Yes.
Throws a ball 100 miles an hour to the
right.
guy who
To the
monstered
other-
it.
It was a terrible judgment, terrible
It was the
throw.
worst pass I've
But
ever
this is
seen.
what Chris brings up is great here, because the career of Jameis Winston, like this can't be said loudly enough. The Bucs were 7-9 when he led the league in interceptions. They changed their quarterback to Tom Brady. He won the championship. And the great thing about all of the strategy, look, Mike Ryan's arguing on behalf of complimentary football. I like the strategy. Do you guys know how rare it is to be able to watch a quarterback play? And it's not the Zach Wilson category, and it's not the Patrick Mahomes category. It's a category all its own. Every Sunday, I tune in, and Jameis can be there. And the reason I'm going to watch is because he's never going to learn. He's going to keep doing it. Like, Brady won with your team a championship, and he's like, nope, I'm going to keep throwing, and I'm never going to learn not to make that throw.
And I'm going to do it with a smile on my face.
For me, it's the eating dubs. When he ate his fingers and said, who wants to eat some dubs? That's it.
Jameis's takeaway from the year that he led the NFL in interception was, I also led in passing yards.
That's right. That is absolutely right. And he takes it out there with him all the time.
God bless him for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, he will never learn.
Kentucky Fried Chicken's 2 for $5 wraps are back. And they're even introducing a new mac and cheese chicken wrap. Are you kidding me? Mac and cheese in a wrap? 2 of my favorite things in the entire world. That is in addition to the classic and spicy slaw wraps. Creamy mac and cheese, a hand-breaded crispy chicken tender, and 3 cheese blend, all wrapped in a pillowy tortilla. God, do I love a pillowy tortilla. Order ahead on the app and cheer on tasty goodness with KFC's 2 for $5 wraps. It's finger looking good.
Peloton is your stage to work out like nobody's watching. A Peloton in your house means you make the rules. You exercise when you want, how you want, sing as loud as you want, wear what you want, or nothing at all. When you spend your hard-earned money, you don't just buy a Peloton, you open the door for you to do you. And nothing beats the feeling of exercising on your own terms, with or without clothes on. With up to $700 off your Peloton Bike Plus purchase, there's no better time to bring one home for the holidays and work out like nobody's watching. Peloton is your stage to unleash the real you, the clothing optional you. You want to try a climb or a low-impact ride class? You can. Or hop off bike and pivot the screen to do a bar, strength, or yoga class? You can. Make yourself uncomfortable in the comfort of your own space and your own skin, free of judgment, free of inhibitions. It's a fitness entertainment mashup that'll have you singing at the top of your lungs, sweating, and moving like you'd never do with others around you. For Peloton's best offer of the season, head to onepeloton.com/offers. All access membership separate. Terms apply.
Dan Batard.
We like to call this one a chorus of Owen Wilson. Ready?
Stugotz.
Wow.
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 Wow. Wow. Wow. This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Dating back to last year, where I eventually went to College Station and I got to experience their atmosphere firsthand, and it was kind of on the heels of their weird midnight yell. Dan can attest to this. I've been obsessed with Texas A&M football for the last 2 years. I bet them every game. I think the world of the talent on that team, and I think their season fell apart this year in large part due to losing Connor Wegman. But it finally happened yesterday. The much-rumored, much-discussed Jimbo Fisher hypothetical firing stopped being a hypothetical, and the impossible has happened. And whenever anyone talked about Jimbo Fisher, they talked about, well, it's a buyout. You can't get away from that buyout. You're just going to have to suffer through this.
It's insane. It's 4 times as much as the previous largest buyout. It's a crazy amount of money.
Mike, I have a great stat here. Jimbo Fisher will get paid more to not coach than Jameis Winston has been paid to play in the NFL. That's amazing.
That's unbelievable. And Jimbo Fisher went out and put up a 50-burger. Coincidentally, the team that was on the receiving end of that 50-burger also fired their coach this morning because I guess if Jimbo's getting fired after that performance, we got to fire our coach too.
Are they firing him because Weigman is coming back and because he can win a couple of games and they don't want the pressure before recruiting of winning a couple of games because the starting quarterback, the one quarterback he's had there who got hurt is the one who's coming back now?
I think they fired Jimbo Fisher because of the last few seasons because he had all the resources in the world, great talent. If you look at their composite ratings, the greatest recruiting class, I think, ever on the heels of a 2020 season. If you look back, way back in the Wayback Machine, 2020, people thought Mike Norvell was a horrible hire, and they thought Texas A&M was coming for everybody's stuff. They had just won an Orange Bowl. Look how much the world has changed since then. But I wonder if Jimbo got a little nervous as the results got worse, and even though he was having a good game, changed the quarterback, their offense looks good. At halftime, this happens. We're going to throw up a still image right now of a donation that the Texas A&M athletic department received. And this is not a number that you sneeze at. $160 million. $160 million. That is crazy.
It's why they can buy him out.
Yeah, no, what they did at halftime was just announce, we're firing Jimbo. Here is this big oversized check. But I don't want to ignore the last tactical expertise that Jimbo left us with before he got fired.
Stugotz, have you seen this?
Yes.
Now, I told you, I mentioned that he changed the quarterback. Max Johnson's terrible. Just not his fault. Just has his limitations. His big failure is that he's not as good as a previous guy. That's what Max Johnson's big. Also he sucks. But he hasn't done that much wrong. So they're trying to catch Mississippi State by surprise, and they put out a phony Max Johnson to warm up because there's all sorts of mystery as to who's starting at quarterback for Texas A&M. Complete with a hat, the jersey number on this training, and he's throwing lefty. They put out a fake Max Johnson, a chef's kiss of tactical strategy.
It worked.
From Jimbo Fisher.
It did work.
You don't fire that guy after that. You wait till he drops another disappointing game, which will inevitably happen to Jimbo Fisher. That right there, and I don't throw around this word.
He's starting to get
this word lightly. Genius. If anything, that's an encouraging sign. Maybe patience.
It's just a left-handed person that they put on the field.
So who is this guy? I'm missing the point here. So he sends out a fake quarterback to warm up. For what reason?
He's got the Uncle Rico throwing motion. How is he fooling anybody?
It's because he's left-handed and because Max Johnson is left-handed, and they just wanted to confuse. They didn't know. They wanted no one to know who to prepare for. Either their terrible backup quarterback that usually starts or the one who they put in who was then a good deal better than Max Johnson.
So the resources over at Texas A&M have been a big-time talking point for several years now, and Johnny Football is right to say, I totally transformed that town. He did. College Station is, as for the town that it is, unrecognizable from what it was.
That check is crazy for that.
Right. Have you
place for the boosters at that school are enormous, and the oil money at that school is crazy.
Have you found out through the reports out there who their internally dream candidate is?
Is it Urban Meyer?
It has to be. I think it should be Urban Meyer.
Stugotz has been arguing.
It's Dan Campbell.
No.
It's
no
Dan
way.
Campbell.
Well, he's not leaving. I mean, why would he leave the Lions?
Such a good one.
I think he went to Texas A&M.
10 years? I give you 10 years. You've rehabbed the entirety of your life.
He's looking at that as like, if I fail, I can go back to the pro game. It's kind of like a bizarro college thing where the college coaches go to the pros and are like, I can be a disaster, but I'm Bobby Petrino. You'll welcome me back with open arms in the college ranks. Maybe it's a bizarro thing with Dan Campbell, but he is the leading dream candidate right now.
Well, no, I think he looks at it as, if I fail, I never have to work again. Yeah. Ever.
Right. Yes.
I don't need to be rehabbed. I don't need to go to the NFL. I will be paid $76 million to go vacation forever.
Me and Billy came up with what Jimbo should do next. Like, his next move is very simple. Me and Billy agree on this.
Yeah.
Go down to the Big Chill, talk to Jimmy, give him his real estate agent, Go out and buy a house over in the Keys, right on the water, get a nice little boat. Relájate. Don't worry about it. Olvídate.
He's freshly divorced, 58 years old. He earned it. I mean, he didn't earn it, but he earned it.
There is option B, which is it's not the first time that Nick Saban would hire somebody that he beefed with.
Why go to Alabama? You have
He's
the
not
Keys
going to
right
Nick
there.
Saban.
Why?
He's stuck with
Nick
Tommy Rees
Saban.
out there,
Mike,
the Nick Saban rehabilitation
you have
program.
$76 million. You want to deal with Nick Saban?
Exactly right.
You want to be the boss?
He's done it
yelled at?
before.
No.
He can do it again.
No.
Oh, come on. 2 years over there with Jalen Milroe. He'll get the next big job. Hell, Texas A&M may hire him again. That's the way this goes when you go to Alabama.
I thought the Alabama thing was done, and they're back again, and they're not as terrible as they looked at the beginning of the season when we pounced and we're like, they don't have a quarterback. But can I say something about
this? Might be their best quarterback ever, Dan. I'm not joking.
Please stop.
Come on.
Dan, he's a sophomore. If you look at Jalen Milroe's numbers as compared to Jalen Hurts when he was a sophomore, I am telling you right now, he's been better. Okay.
Stugotz, I saw him play against Texas when they lost. He couldn't play, and of course, he has improved since then. But I was making the analysis from earlier this season that when they came out of the gate losing at home by 2 touchdowns to a Texas team that's just okay, just okay, it didn't look like they had quarterback play. But speaking of that, please, dear God, I beg of you, get that Michigan-Penn State game out of my life forever. Get those schools that fatten up on Northwestern and Iowa and Illinois and Indiana, and then at the end of the season are there to tell me they're as good as everybody else. And what do? 20 straight runs from Michigan. Penn State on first down, 13 straight downs of run the football. Don't trust our quarterbacks at all. Neither one of them are going to throw for 100 yards. Michigan is going to muscle you to death, and they're just going to run the ball for the remainder of the game. Get that? Game, put it on an aircraft carrier. Thank you for your service. Send it out to sea. I don't ever need to see it again. Please, dear God, you can't take James Franklin with you. All of you out of here. Just
the Big Ten?
Just all of you get out of here. You with Desmond Howard on television telling me 10 years ago that Jim Tressel deserves to be banned from the game and he's happy when cheaters are gone. But when you put a clown in disguise on the Central Michigan sidelines, that's cheating we can defend and tolerate.
Made the Michigan coach cry.
Look at this emotional. This was a galvanizing moment for the state of Michigan.
To win on the road in this environment when there were doubts. Sherm, what does it mean to you?
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. I love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. Did this for you. For this university, the president, our AD, we got the best players, best university, best alumni in the country. Love you guys. These guys right here, man. These guys did it. These guys did it, man. Talk to him, man. Love you.
Thank you, Coach.
It's not that serious.
Talk to these guys. Talk to
Harbaugh's still with us, by the way.
Just in case.
Just
suspended.
I had to check.
He's going to produce the greatest season in Michigan history, and he's going to coach 4 of the games.
I love the shit out of these guys. I love the shit out of them.
It's like a drunk dude at a bar at a bachelor party.
I legitimately did not know how they could get a court injunction on Saturday to try and get Jim Harbaugh to play in that game. But the entire game was a restraining order.
You want to send it off to sea?
Him too.
How about J.J. McCarthy with the rallying cry of bet before the game?
Mm-hmm.
J.J. McCarthy, Heisman Trophy candidate. 7 of 8, 60 yards.
Mike, they didn't pass in the second half.
Bet.
I read. Now, I thought, Stugotz, I'm going to give those stats again. Penn State on first down started the game. I tuned it out at this point. 13 straight first downs, handoff, 2 yards.
Yeah.
And Michigan came back with, no, you think that's good? No, we watch this. Watch this.
You think you can run?
You think you can do that? No. Watch us, where every time we go to 5 wides, you know it's just a quarterback draw, right? We're not going to throw out of this formation. 32.
We're just trying to spread you out.
I think at the end of the game, they ran the ball 32 straight times, and the strategy is just what Stugotz said. All we're trying to do is spread you out so our quarterback can do a quarterback draw.
I imagine the last time there was a top 12 matchup of two teams where both quarterbacks threw under 71 yards was probably a time where one team traveled by steam engine.
Infuriating. You like to call it, I like complimentary
football.
Right.
That's good stuff right there.
That's what you're arguing on behalf of, right there.
Yeah.
The college
Pound the
game,
rock.
we're teaching them young.
Hey, put the tip of your finger on your tongue.
Right.
Take the temperature of the wind.
Yep.
Find out, feel the game out, and know exactly what type of style of football you want to play.
And hand it to Blake Corum.
And hand it to Blake Corum.
That's it.
Did you see his face after? All bloodied?
Yes.
He looked fine there after Moore
He
told
looked like
him.
the Big Ten.
Yeah. Lead propagandist Adam Schefter is circulating all positive Michigan news. I'm very happy for them. This was a great day for Michigan.
Charles Woodson goes on television and says the whole thing is bullshit. And I just want to ask you, if you can support that kind of cheating, you'll support any kind of cheating, right?
Yes.
Any kind. Has it been hard? Have they been persecuted for years and years? It's the first time that they're having to deal with this. Also, I trusted James Franklin. It fooled me. I thought he was due.
What?
I thought he was due.
Oh, the due theory.
So many distractions. Their coach getting pulled aside on a tarmac saying you're suspended. We're trying to get a restraining order so you can play. It had all the makings.
And honest to God, though, do you understand that I felt for 3 hours like I was watching the manifestation of a court injunction? Like I'm watching a courtroom, and it's just
like I object.
I object to all of this. Send it out to sea.